Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario. Welcome back to another episode of the Mario's Minute podcast. This is for May of 2019. Jeez, messing that up already. We are off to a fantastic start now, aren't we? Too late. We're just going to keep going. Anyways, I did say podcast, so if you are watching this on the channel, thank you very much for tuning in. This is available in audio form on pretty much all or most major podcasting platforms. Just look up Mario's Minute and you can find it through there. And if you're listening to the audio version, you're welcome to check out the video version as well too. It's really just, an image with a cool visualizer. At least I think it looks cool, but mind you, everyone has their own opinions and all that fun stuff on it. So yeah, that's on my YouTube channel, which is Mr. Mario 2011. And this is a monthly podcast I do where really I just talk about whatever the hell I want to. So if you want to subscribe to it on whatever you're listening to, awesome. If you want to check it out on the channel, feel free to. But I do this just as a fun, leisurely podcast, so it might not have to do with anything related to gaming or modding, but if you are looking for something modding related or gaming related, check out the channel or check out my other podcast I do with Paranoid Coder, which is Mod Chat. But anyways, occasionally I have a guest on the show here, and this year I've been really good about it so far. I've been trying to do it every other month. So I will cycle between one month it will be a solo episode, another month it will be a guest episode. And we are keeping that tradition so far, I guess, keeping it up because we have a guest. Now, I do have him right here physically next to me. And to my guest, I have to ask this question like I do every single person who comes on here. But who the hell are you?
Yeah, man, who the hell am I? So, on the internet, I don't have too much of a presence. I guess I may be known on SoundCloud as DJ dGreen. On YouTube, I don't ever post to Donald30018, as you can tell by the crappy username. Yeah, man, I fix computers and I make music sometimes, and that's who the hell I am.
Right on. No, that's a good thing to do. So you are, speaking of music, so this is not going to be the first time people have heard from you because, you've been doing music for a while, but not only, we've been friends for how long at this point? It's been...
Over a decade.
It's been well over a decade.
Yeah,
it's been well over a decade. But on top of that, I've used your music several times on the channel as well, too. So
yes, and I'm very thankful for that. Yeah, if you ever heard any, overly bassy or wannabe kind of dubby trap stuff on his channel in the last 4 years and it sounded kind of lo-fi trash, it was probably mine.
I like how the musicians that I'll talk to are the ones I have, because you're the second one on here. I had Payama on here for 2 episodes ago, but I love how they just describe their stuff as trash.
Yeah.
I guess that means there's always room for improvement, because
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I think you have to have some humility, and if you think your stuff is the best, then no, you're just kind of your head's just kind of up your ass at that point.
Yeah, for sure. Look at Deadmau5. That dude is... I appreciate some of his music, but he is so conceited.
Oh, man, don't be saying that. Now Deadmau5 is going to somehow find this episode.
God, I hope so. Yeah, if any Deadmau5, inner circle people are listening, @tag Deadmau5 on this video.
Oh, my God.
Million likes. Million unlikes. Dislikes.
I remember there was some of the stuff I've seen Deadmau5 do, which has been so funny and petty, because I find him to be very entertaining. Mm-hmm. But he knows he's a dick at the same time. And what was one thing he did? I think it was snipers. He ended up the guy who used to do MLG montage parodies and all that on YouTube. He got one of his Twitter accounts suspended a while ago because he was joking at Deadmau5 and asking Deadmau5 why did you run over this person or something like that. And Deadmau5 was on stream and was trying to blast snipers on stream, but you could tell he was really agitated by this, but he was trying to play it off like he wasn't. And he was so not agitated to the point where he ended up going and he blocked snipers on Twitter and then blocked every single person who Snipers was following on Twitter, and then was asking people to report him, and then got the account suspended, and tried to completely, he went way out of his way to prove that he wasn't being bugged by it.
That sounds like Deadmau5. I forget who it was. It was either Skrillex, Steve Aoki, or Diplo. I feel like it was one of the three. He put as a prank put out their personal cell phone number on Twitter.
That was Skrillex.
Was it Skrillex?
That.
Yeah,
yes. Yeah. Because I think it was at the Grammys or something. He went and he was wearing his Deadmau5 hat, and and then he had a shirt or head, deadmau5 head, and then he had a shirt that said like Sonny Moore's phone number is.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, and then so he didn't put it out, but people were taking photos and putting it online. Yeah. He did the Mike Jones thing, except, Mike Jones willingly put out his number. He didn't, so.
Yeah, evidently this is the Deadmau5 podcast now. I'm sorry, everyone. But no, yeah.
I brought up Mike Jones. I'm happy.
There you go. So, some diversification there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Deadmau5, he is a self-aware asshole, but am I allowed to say asshole on this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, you won't get demonetized?
Dude, I don't care. I don't make this podcast for the money, man.
Fair enough.
I think the demonetized meme is pretty funny, but
true. So Deadmau5 is like a total self-aware beehole, but
nice censorship.
I dig him. Thank you. I just wish his music was more consistent.
Yeah, I like his music, but yeah, indeed, there's not as much, I guess, consistency with releases is what you mean, or what?
That, and I mean, as much as I like listening to a song for 9 minutes, I think that's getting a little old.
Okay.
IMO.
I got you.
All of my songs are 2 minutes and they're hot garbage. Go check out my SoundCloud.
Yes, I will put that down below in the description.
And I'm not a SoundCloud rapper. I'm
you
just
are
a
not.
Producer, so.
Yeah, that's true. I've had 2 SoundCloud artists on here. I guess I can say that, and neither of them have been SoundCloud rappers.
Oh, thank God. No offense to SoundCloud rappers. So now the Deadmau5 fans and the SoundCloud rappers are all unsubscribing.
Just get out of my house now. Just get out.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Oh man, yeah. But yeah, no, Donald, we've known each other for a long, long time, haven't we? We initially, we went to school together, but we initially linked up, thanks to modding and all that as well, too.
Yeah, that's about right. We were just giant geeks that,
we were the 2 or 3 people in the school that knew what the hell custom firmware was.
Yes. I remember, distinctly rolling up to school with a Nintendo DS with 50 games built into it, and just people be like, dude, how did you do that? It's like... modding.
Yeah, because you had a solution I've never seen anyone else have except for one of our other mutual
where you're
friends.
going with this.
One of our other mutual friends who you hooked him up with that, and I kind of had to help him with the other stuff. But it was was it the Action Replay Media Max or something like that?
Better. It was a knockoff, I believe, of an Action Replay that was sold at
Was
Walmart for $30. Yeah, I forget I might be able to find it.
I'm pretty sure it was an Action Replay.
I don't think so. If I'm allowed to Google on this podcast,
go
I might
ahead,
look
go
for
ahead.
it in a sec.
No, you got a phone next to you. Yeah, go ahead, do that.
So while I'm looking for it, basically, it was just a cart. You put the storage into the GBA slot.
Yes,
and
so
it
was only for the DS and the DS Lite. Then.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. DS Lite only.
It was
wasn't
a slot
made for
2
3DS.
thing. And, yeah.
Yep, you had the cartridge, and then it used the old. I guess I'm preaching to the choir on your channel about how the exploit worked.
No. Please keep going because I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know about this.
TLDR, if memory serves, because of how it handled GBA emulation through that port, they didn't put the same level of encryption as they did going from a normal cart, if I remember correctly. So the idea was they were able to run some exploited code off of a normal DS card to get it to boot off of the GBA, and then once it was on the GBA slot, it was just free game at that point for running whatever you wanted. That might be the worst explanation ever.
Well, I remember that officially it was designed.
See if I can find it.
Sure, go ahead. I remember officially, because I never had one, but I looked at yours quite a bit. I remember officially it was designed for playing media, so movies and music and photos and all that stuff. And then what was the other thing? Then for homebrew, I distinctly remember for homebrew in the NDS format. But to play pirated or commercial games, you couldn't just load the ROM on there, but you had to patch them.
Yep, they had. I don't even believe it was an official tool. I believe
it was not
a third-party tool.
Oh no, because they would have gotten. Was it Daytel that did it?
I think so.
Well, Daytel does Action Replays. That's it. That sounds about familiar. But yeah, I think it was the Media Max. That sounds about right.
That does sound very correct. The only thing I remember about it is that it cost $30 and I bought it at a Walmart. I mean, that's hilarious.
And
to
it
me.
used the compact flash on it. I remember.
Max Media Player. Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Daytel. It wasn't branded Action Replay. It was literally just branded Max Media Player, but that was it.
Okay.
Oh, this is a trip down memory lane right here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, available in either 2 or 4 gigabyte models.
Okay. Do you remember which one you had?
No, I don't.
Oh man.
I just remember playing a really crappy port of Tony Hawk off of it and thinking it was the coolest thing ever.
Was it homebrew or was it an actual game?
That was an actual game.
Okay.
I believe
Because there were some Tony Hawk games that were on the DS.
Yes, that one was official and it was awful, but it was just
Real nice.
cool to be able to run it without having to take all the cartridges with me.
Yes, yeah, and I remember with that too that you needed to have a donor cartridge to save off that as well. So
Yes.
you needed to have like an official game in the slot one, and then
It was a mess, dude. But I mean, again,
But the thing is, that's how you were able to get a hold of your free games and all that stuff by just going to Walmart because you didn't have to convince your parents to buy any type of flash card from a shady Chinese seller. So
yeah, it was I would say it was a good entry point. It was a good, like, I know nothing about this. I want to jump into it. There's this thing that I can buy at a store and have it today. Let's give it a whirl. And yeah, it was a good jumping off point for the little bit of modding that I did.
Mm-hmm. No, that was good stuff for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always flash back to that because I remember like the first time I ever saw you that you were playing your DS and you had this like giant tumor hanging out from underneath it.
The thing was massive. Yeah. Do you remember the MP3 player I had, the Creative, the widescreen like rectangle, like way ahead of its time?
Was that the one like I stayed over at your place once and you were like obsessing about it and it was okay? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The one where literally the only custom software you could put on it would let you like change the color of the interface and the icons.
But you loved
it was
that
still
thing.
cool. Yeah,
you professed your love for it like 20 times that night.
So I guess for clarification, man, it was an MP3 player. I guess technically an MP4 player in God. What year would that have been? 2000.
That had to be
2005.
What? No. That would have been like 2009 or so.
Would it have been? No, I had it in middle school.
Well, no, so I'm thinking of a different player then.
I may have still had it. Is the thing?
No, you got a new one because you had like 20 different MP3 or MP4 players.
I had a problem. But this particular one, just when it came out, it was before you could get full video on iPod.
Right.
And this was a portable player that played
so I don't
video.
remember this one.
You don't remember this one? Interesting. Okay. Because this one
I remember like the little like jigs that you had that looked like flash drives. Because you got me onto those.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to knock the mic. Sorry,
God.
No, those were more high school when I got away from needing a portable video player and just needed an audio player.
No, I remember in middle school you had shown me this.
Really?
I don't think you're getting your MP3 and MP4 players straight. Because I've seen like 3 or 4 that you've owned.
I mean, I had an iPod Shuffle in middle school. I do remember that. That was one of the USB stick players. Was an iPod Shuffle.
No, you went with you had another.
I had several.
Yeah, you had several.
Maybe just when I was hanging out with you, I happened to have the other ones instead.
I think so.
Yeah, that was my problem, man. Danny was all about like having all the crazy gaming hardware back in that day, and he still is. I was all about just MP3 players.
I guess so, and even like crazy gaming hardware. It's not like I had like 20 versions of like the same system, but
True.
I had like all of it. Like I had like the Xbox, the PS2. I sold you my GameCube.
Yes, you did.
My first
I
GameCube,
still have that GameCube.
Yes, and that completely blindsided me until like months ago when you told me. I was like, oh yeah, I did sell you that one. So I'm glad to know it's still in rotation.
Still use it. I don't
That's good.
remember if I have any of the games that I think I might still have. Was it House of the Dead?
No, that didn't come out on GameCube. I gave you Smashing Drive.
There was a zombie shooter that came out on GameCube that came with it.
I'd never owned Hunter on the GameCube.
I might have to like break out the Google again here for a
Shit.
second.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I think this is the most Googling we've ever done on the podcast. This is incredible.
I swear, I thought it was House of the Dead.
No, because House of the Dead did not come out on the GameCube. It came out on the Xbox.
How much you want to bet?
I'm not a betting man, but...
Fair enough. You're probably right. I shouldn't be getting into a betting match with you about gaming. But,
well, it's okay. You're not going to lose out on any money because, again, I'm not a betting man, but I can confidently say that House of the Dead didn't come out.
Because
it came out on Dreamcast and it came out on Xbox.
Yeah, it was a port. It was a port of an arcade zombie shooter.
Well,
I'm
I
near
gave
certain.
you Smashing Drive, which was
I remember
arcade.
Smashing Drive.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, which I just got that on the Xbox recently. So,
this is bugging me.
Oh my god! Just look up like zombie games on GameCube.
It wasn't Resident Evil.
No,
because I remember Smashing Drive because that was the weird like crazy taxi knockoff. It wasn't Resident Evil. I would know that.
Yeah, because there was a couple Resident Evil games that came out on GameCube. There was 0, and there was the first one.
And I think Resident Evil 4 did too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm incorrect on that. Yeah. So there was Resident Evil 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Unless I'm mixing something up, I might be crazy. I might just be crazy, man. I don't know.
I think you might be.
I guess that would be kind of uncharacteristic for one of those to be on a Nintendo console, especially GameCube.
Well, I don't know. At the same time, I mean, you got to remember that this is when like Nintendo was really trying to go mature, kind of for the first time. Like say, like, hey, you can get a system with Mario and your super violent games. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't believe there was a light gun accessory that was made for the GameCube.
No, so that was the thing. There was no light gun. It was played with a controller. I remember that much, and it controlled like garbage.
Okay.
I couldn't find it. It wasn't House of the Dead. You're right on that one. I will figure that out.
The only thing I can think of is like the like Hunter the Reckoning.
Hunter, yeah, and it wasn't Hunter,
which I never owned that on GameCube, so I wouldn't have sold it to you. But
I could just be, at the same time I was screwing with Sega Dreamcast stuff. And I could just be mixing two.
I think so. Things. I think that's what's happening because the Dreamcast had House of the Dead 2 on there. And so for a while, I thought that it had the first House of the Dead. And after like searching a bunch, it does not. Yeah. House of the Dead is on Saturn. House of the Dead 2 is on Dreamcast. House of the Dead 3 is on Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm wrong here. That's fine. I'll take a hit there.
Okay. Don't worry. Like you're not gonna take a hit on this.
The comment section is just gonna be fire after this. I'm excited. Bring it.
Oh my god. So speaking of, I guess you know what this works out because like we talk gaming, we talk tech, we talk all this shit whenever we're on here. So how have you felt about the saddest Xbox One? I wanted to talk about this. I was going to bring it up like in a previous episode and I forgot, but it's officially out now at this point, the Xbox One SAD edition. And for anyone that doesn't know, it is the Xbox One S all digital edition.
So literally, the SAD edition.
Yeah.
They're trying. I really think it just comes down to how can we make the numbers behind the dollar signs smaller. And
you're talking about like sell it for less.
Exactly. Yeah. Get that MS. I was just saying it in a silly way because that's how I talk. I've given up on the Xbox One. Like, sorry to all the Microsoft fanboys out there, but I think screw that. I think even a lot of the Microsoft fanboys aren't happy about the Xbox One ecosystem anymore.
I will say, because we were talking about this a bit prior, and so people who've like really followed the channel for a bit, they might know, I really enjoyed the Xbox 360.
Oh, hell yeah, you did.
Oh, hell yeah, I did. Yeah.
I was there for that.
Oh, yes, you were. Yes, you were. And then the Xbox One, I wanted it to be good, and I enjoyed it at the beginning, and then just... I like the PS4 a lot more, and I just really don't like the Xbox One that much. But I will acknowledge and say I would disagree on what you said there, just because the Xbox One right now, you get an Xbox One console, you get Xbox Live, you get the Game Pass, which if you have an Xbox One, you don't have Game Pass.
What the hell are you doing? Pass.
Yeah, but if you get all that stuff, that is the best deal in gaming right now.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, I'm not arguing it being the best deal. I'm arguing that they have dug themselves a hole and now they're trying to climb out of it in whatever way
that
they
is
can.
True. I will agree with you on that. Yeah. And the last time I checked, which I think was like this morning, granted, so we're recording this a little bit early. We're recording this in about the middle of the month. So mind you, numbers might change, but I want to say like lifetime sales for like the PS4, for example, are like 91 million. Xbox One sales are like 31 million or so. And the Switch is the Switch is last right now. The Switch is a few million lower, but I can easily foresee the Switch overtaking the Xbox One here within the next year.
Oh, it will. No, it definitely will. Portability and just Nintendo. And that for some reason, I think just architectures, all of the indie developers are like, yeah, we'll put our games on that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, people are saying that it's stupid easy to port things over to the Switch. Yeah. But even it's to the point now, the good thing is, I will say that with Microsoft kind of just being a mixed bag of things, you are getting a good deal with Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I will say for what they're doing, this generation, I don't think they could do all that much, but the next generation Xbox, they're going to have a good amount of studios. They're going to have at least a better install base, and they're trying to really do things to get out there, like to the point where, Cuphead is on Switch now. And the developers of Cuphead actually said, they're like, yeah, no, this is Microsoft's idea. Microsoft actually approached us and we're just like, hey, would you all just be interested in developing this on Nintendo's platform? Because if you are, we can link you up with Nintendo. Just let us know.
Well, and again, I don't keep up on this news as much as I should. Isn't Game Pass talks about coming to Switch, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's smart.
There's an Xbox Live app that's going to be somehow integrated with Switch as well. Xbox Live is somehow coming to Switch.
Some sort of integration. It's again, I think this for the long term for Microsoft is for the better. I think just the Xbox One having the garbage release that it was, it's making them try new things. I mean, hell, they were the vocal majority on, hey, we want cross-platform multiplayer, which for Xbox Live is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. For Sony to be the company that was like, no, we're not screwing with that.
And
that's
I think
weird.
And I think that's weird because you've always been more of the Sony guy there.
Definitely.
But I know on the flip side, it was last generation where Sony, because they were, like Microsoft was the winner. So they were saying, hey, we're not going to do cross-platform. And then when they did, it was with PC, with Games for Windows Live. That shit was garbage, all right? Let's just say it right now. They did not handle a lot of that stuff properly. DRM was bad. Expecting PC players to pay for Xbox Live at the beginning was a horrible idea. That's why they ended up making it free within a few months. But mind you, when it came down to all of this, I remember Sony was really trying to push cross-platform play. Like they had that with Portal 2. They had it with a few other games. Like I think there was there was a DC Universe MMO where you're able to do cross-platform. Of course, this stuff wasn't really there as much on last generation of systems, but Sony was more for that. While this time it really just comes down to whoever's when you're winning, you're not going to try and rock the boat, and you can just do whatever you want to.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
So that's why you have Sony where they're just like, yeah, no, we're not affecting anything. Like, yeah, you know what? Nintendo, you're selling less than us. Sony, you're selling less than us. That's why you two are working together. We're selling way more than you guys combined, double that. So we don't need to worry about any of that shit. And I think that the biggest thing for me has been Sony censoring games, which I talked about this with Payama, but I never expected them to be the platform where they censor their games on, and Nintendo has the uncensored games on their platform. I would have never expected that.
There's some weird shit on the Nintendo eShop on the Switch.
I know, and I love it.
Hilarious, but it's smart, man. Nintendo's got it figured out this generation. I'm so glad that they took a step back from the Wii U and like, hey, how do we not do that again? Like they're getting to have their cake and eat it too.
They needed the Wii U to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Nintendo is killing it. Microsoft, it's capitalism at work. They are innovating because they have to. That's the only way to stay alive. And for the end of the day, that's good for the industry, and that makes me happy.
True that.
The fact that, again, we're Xbox Live on a Nintendo console, and yeah, an Xbox exclusive game, Microsoft's exclusive game coming to anything else.
There's no such thing as a Xbox exclusive.
Windows 10 ecosystem exclusive.
Microsoft exclusive, yeah.
No, but man, it's cool, and I dig it, and I dig that they pushed Sony into, what was it, Fortnite they're allowing cross-plat on now? It's like, it's a broken cross-plat.
I don't know about that. I don't play Fortnite, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, there's this big controversy where, so if you, I think it's Fortnite. No, it's almost definitely Fortnite.
Or is it a Rocket League?
No, this one's definitely Fortnite.
Okay.
So the reason I remember, just because of how highbrow this was, so moving your profile between different consoles.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And coming to PS4, it was like, nope, you either start a new profile or your profile is locked to PSN now.
And I remember Epic came out and there's like, yeah, Sony's the one locking it down.
Yep. Yeah, as a Sony fanboy, I have owned my primary console has always been a Sony console up until the Nintendo Switch. Man, they need to figure some stuff out.
I'm hoping so.
PSN is garbage, and yeah, it's 2019. They have to figure out how to work with other companies.
They do.
Like at this point,
I mean, this is you also have to realize that this is the company that they finally like. I like the PlayStation 4 and all that. Don't get me wrong, but like they just put in name changes on there, and that wasn't even done properly. They have a list of games where you can't do this shit properly on there because the ecosystem was not built for that in mind.
It's a shame, and yeah, just the fact that we live in a time where I can play Super Mario Brothers and Dark Souls on the same console. I mean, they need to figure out how to play nice. Like, Microsoft is getting better about playing nice. Nintendo's really good at playing nice all of a sudden. They need to get their shit together, put it in a box, take it to the shit store. Like, seriously. Sony, man. And I love Sony. I love Sony.
I do.
And it's just, man, it's tough love. It is tough love, just like with Microsoft and this whole generation.
It is. We've kind of gone completely away from the original thing.
What was the original
The
question?
Xbox One Sad Edition. How are you feeling about... No, I knew this was going to happen.
Dude,
We've been meaning to sit down and do this for years anyways. I remember we used to have these this is how Donald and I discuss things. We'll get really into shit. We'd said multiple times we're going to sit down and record this shit, and it finally happened.
Finally.
I
guess, okay.
I'm excited.
I'll put my opinion of the Xbox Sad Edition in a little box. 4 words, too little, too late.
Yeah.
Is my stance. This would have been a great console 4 years ago.
I think my opinions on this are really, there's a lot of people out there right now who for the past few years, even since 2013, there's a lot of people who've been using their, like, the original, like the VCR looking Xbox Ones.
Yeah. That's an accurate explanation of that console.
I mean, to be honest, I like how it looks, but still, okay, I'm gonna play into the meme. The VCR looking Xbox One, people were using those. There's people who were using them since day one as Sad Edition consoles. They got all their stuff from the shop on there. They were doing it all digital. They really didn't use the disc drive on there. There's plenty of Xbox One users who are doing this. The real slap in the face with this is that you can get a regular Xbox One S with a disc drive for cheaper than the Xbox One Sad version. Now, I think with the Sad Edition, it comes with like 3 games on there or something. So that's how they're trying to boost that up. But honestly, in my opinion, what they should have done is they should have bundled in some Xbox Live and like a extended trial, like 3 months or 6 months worth of Game Pass. Because they could have, if they sold this system for 150, 200, but 150 might be almost a little low. I don't know. But if they sold it for $200 or less, Microsoft could have easily won the marketing with this and said, "Hey, this is our cheapest system, 1 terabyte hard drive already built in. You have plenty of storage. It'll come with a few months of Game Pass. It'll come with some Xbox Live. Bam." You can get online, ready to go within a few minutes. You're getting right here $200, the best deal in gaming to get up and running right now.
There's so many ways they could have gone about it, man. And I mean, if we're talking just strictly market share, not personal, would I buy the console? Pre-install Fortnite and Apex onto that thing and toss a battle pass on each of them.
Oh, yeah.
Or just something. The 6 months of Game Pass would be a great idea. Sell that hardware like at a net zero, but just get them sucked into the subscription model.
Exactly.
Like, there's so many routes.
Thinking about it now, as we're really saying this out loud, it's like, why the hell did you? Because I think they bundled Forza Horizon 4.
Yep.
Minecraft and Sea of Thieves, so you own
right.
the games, but all those games are available on Game Pass. And it's like, why didn't you just give 6 months of Game Pass with the system? So you get people, you clickbait people to get them into the ecosystem, and they realize how nice it is to have a Netflix of games, and they keep subscribing to it. That happened with me already. I got like 6 months of Game Pass on my account, and I game share with my brothers. So the way that even came about was they wanted to play Sea of Thieves. And I didn't want to pay for it, I'll be honest. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to buy this game that I have no interest in, all right? Like, no, I really don't want to do that. I found out it's on Game Pass, though. So I bought Game Pass. I put it on. They have access to my Xbox Live. They have access to my Game Pass. They have access to any games that are in my library. So they've been playing it. When Game Pass expired, they let me know, hey, it's not working. So I realized what they were talking about. I got some more Game Pass. And even the same thing happened with Minecraft. I didn't want to rebuy Minecraft for them, but it just got onto Game Pass from what I understand. So, bam, there we go. So even with that, it's like, as long as my brothers are interested in the Xbox One, I probably just have to pay for Game Pass and really not pay directly for games.
But this is, so this is my problem with Microsoft, and it's always been my problem with Microsoft in their software and hardware development, is especially, I guess, in this case on the software side of it, is that they develop this really cool thing, and it should be
You're talking about the hardware or the software?
Software in this case, I guess more specifically. We'll talk about Game Pass for this example.
Okay.
We developed this amazing thing. It's a subscription model, which is the hotness in 2019. If you want your stock market share to go up, you focus on subscription models.
Sure.
And Yeah, instead of making that the forefront of the all digital.
Back off a little bit. Back.
Sorry, I get very aggressive.
I know.
Things.
You're like attacking the microphone, man.
So instead of you have this amazing thing, and you have an all digital console, and from any third party viewer, yeah, these are a match made in heaven, but nope, it's Microsoft. So here's ownership of 3 games instead.
Yeah.
That is so Microsoft.
I don't get that. I really don't get that.
Really? I mean,
I really don't understand that.
I guess, even looking at Windows, like Windows 8 and Windows 8.1, I will argue to the day I die, Windows 8 was a great operating system. It was on the wrong hardware. They had this really good piece of software, but they were marketing it to desktop users.
So here's the thing. Let's go back a few years. A lot of people, I guess I can see it. I don't really feel strongly either way. A lot of people say that exact same thing with Microsoft, with Windows Vista.
Yeah.
Where there's people that insist that it was actually really good software and you could fix it by tweaking a few things. But the issue was that they lowered the system requirements dramatically. So it was getting installed on a lot of hardware that really had no business running it.
And I guess that's the thing I hate. And this is one thing I've always appreciated with Sony on the software side of it, is that when they release software or release a product via their software, they know how to utilize it. They know, the PS3's interface is a point of contention in the gaming community, and I realize that. I mean,
it's simple and it works. I like the XMB. Yeah. I just don't like how the PS3 was slow.
Sure, but for what the software did, the interface worked well enough that it didn't need to be changed for its entire life, just because they put the time into the software and knew how to use it, where Xbox has great software, but for some, they're very, they have a very Google mentality on a lot of their stuff, which is just, we either tweak the shit out of it constantly, or we just drop it and move to something else. I'm kind of going on a separate tangent now. I've completely lost the original track, but
they do that a lot with their game studios, for example. Like you really see with with Sony, for example, they let games like The Last Guardian, that took how long to develop, and it eventually came out. Who does Killzone? Is that Guerrilla Games?
I should know that.
I'm pretty sure that's Guerrilla Games. So Guerrilla Games, first Killzone came out. Yeah, it pushed the boundaries. It didn't do that well. But Killzone 2 was better. Killzone 3 was better. Then, you have Shadowfall. And then it works all the way up to Horizon. Horizon Zero Dawn, which is hailed as this amazing game, completely off the beaten path, brand new IP, beautiful, all that stuff. But it took so much time to do that. Microsoft really, historically, they don't nurture their companies like that unless you come out the gate swinging.
Yep.
Like you're doing like Gears of War, Halo, Forza numbers, or like even though this is technically an indie developer, the studio that ended up making Cuphead, I mean, they're pretty buddy-buddy with Microsoft. Microsoft did help quite a bit, but I know they did finance that game themselves. But I know that if that game completely flopped, Microsoft would have definitely ghosted them.
Yeah, and I mean, getting back to the root, I guess, talking about the Game Pass example, it's just... the thing that I think kills me the most about it is I would love to go to Microsoft headquarters and find out how many employees are just screaming about how the Xbox SAD doesn't have a good Game Pass package baked into the damn thing. Like, they have this great piece of kit hardware-wise. The Xbox One is great hardware. They have this great software tool and subscription model in their new Game Pass. Why?
To be honest, I'm just gonna answer that literally. I don't think there's too many employees that care about it. I've been to Microsoft HQ. They're very chill there. They're treated real well by their company. Microsoft now knows how to treat their employees. They're no longer doing the slash and burn thing. So employees there, for the most part, are pretty happy. Yeah. And I think they're more worried about like their projects and stuff as opposed to the Xbox stuff. Maybe in the Xbox division that might be different, because I didn't see that at all. So I don't know. But also you got to realize that weed is legal over there too. So they got all the reasons to chill out.
Yeah, we're at a point with Microsoft where, Microsoft Office costs $100 a year now. They don't need to release anything else.
Yeah.
Like, they're fine.
Yeah.
And
I forgot that they went to subscription on that. Yeah. I still have, I own but I have a copy of Office 2013. Like I have like a legitimate license for it that I paid for and everything. And it's like, yes, this is not a subscription. I install it on my machine for life.
Yeah,
this is mine.
You own the license. Same, yeah.
Yes.
Quote unquote ownership.
Yes.
And that's fine, but oh man. This is, I think, my take on Microsoft just over the years has just been like you are so close to being especially I guess specifically Xbox within Microsoft. You are so close to being like the perfect system with all of this, but you have to screw it up for yourself, like in some way. And that's why I think the Nintendos and Sonys of the world are just, I think, from maybe minus now because of Game Pass, I just feel like they're gonna have an edge. Like they put such a big dent in their company. It's gonna take a miracle for them to come back, especially since the next consoles are probably gonna be pretty damn similar at this point.
Well, even with that as well too. I'm sorry if I'm just like I keep nitpicking here, but I was gonna say Microsoft as a company is still doing pretty well.
Of course.
I think their Xbox division is now starting to make some money for one of the first times in a while, because Xbox is generally like, and historically they're really not a profitable venture for Microsoft.
For sure.
So now they're starting to do better, but even so, I know they're dumping a ton of money into different things, acquiring studios and all, and we'll see if it pays off. But yeah,
man, I'm just saying, if Nintendo can profit off of releasing what is basically a Nexus 7 2013 with game controllers duct taped to the sides and make money off of it, Xbox should be making money right now. I mean,
I love
Lord.
the Switch, but that's really funny.
I love the Switch. Trust me, as someone that has not bought a Nintendo console since the original Wii, I love my Switch.
And you loved the Wii, I remember.
Yeah, I played the hell out of my Wii, man.
Yeah,
Super Mario Galaxy was my jam.
You didn't have a 3DS, and then you didn't have a Wii U.
Nope.
Yeah.
And my DS, I don't think I ever had a DSi or a DS Lite. I think the only DS I had was the OG.
Oh, damn.
Like, I don't buy Nintendo consoles, and that is just a testament to the Switch, man. I want to know how much just straight profit they're making off of that console, because we all know that the hardware that goes into that does not cost $300. Like, there's no way.
I'm interested as well too.
Like, yeah,
we'll see.
Do they ever release those kinds of numbers?
I'm sure we can look it up if we sit here and Google it. I don't want to do that again here.
Yeah,
exactly.
True.
Yeah. I was gonna say though, because you mentioned Super Mario Galaxy was your jam. Do you remember it was one of your previous roommates? We talked about this and how I had like how I had called you out on your theory with the Super Mario Galaxy thing. Do you remember this at all?
Refresh my memory.
Okay, so you were telling me, you're just like, I just want Super Mario Galaxy 3. That's all I want. That's all I want. Make it on Wii U and I'll buy one. And I was like, well, because you were saying I want another Super Mario Galaxy. And I was like, well, you got one already.
I still want another Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, and I said, well, you got one already. You got Super Mario Galaxy 2. And you were just like, yeah, oh my God, it was just the same thing with different maps and slightly different worlds. Ugh.
Okay, can I elaborate? Oh, go ahead, finish your story.
No, and then I remember, so you said that, and I was like, so if you got that already, and that's how you feel about it, why do you want a third one? And you just like, you were about to respond, and then you just got silenced. And your roommate was just dying laughing at that point. Yeah. And I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to make you feel bad, but no, I was just trying to figure out the logic here.
So I guess now that I'm older and wiser, I guess that was probably, what, 3 years ago?
Oh, yeah, that was a whole 3 years
so
ago.
Much older and wiser now. I figured it out. And in fact, I think it was Mario Odyssey that made me figure it out. I want two things for Mario Galaxy to be done right again. First of all, the music. Holy crap, Mario Galaxy's soundtrack score really was perfect.
All right.
And they tried with Mario Odyssey, but you see, Odyssey's music wasn't in the forefront of the game. Like, I remember I only made it like 3 hours into it, and then I just put it down because I for other reasons too, not just the music. Mm-hmm. But they had this really cool, so like one of the cooler mechanics for Mario Galaxy was the music playing in the background, and the sound effects that Mario would make as he ran across the map were pitch shifted to match.
Oh,
so like
okay.
His footsteps would be in time, and like little sound effects, like especially so the mechanic when you're in the.
And I mean, like you were in band as well too.
Yes.
For a while, and I know you come from an
Music's
audio
very
background.
important
Music,
for me.
of course. Yes, yeah. So no, I totally see your love for this.
And they tried, but it wasn't there. And the second thing, and this was, I think, the core game mechanic I love so much about Galaxy, just from inherently how it worked, was just map manipulation and physics puzzles.
Okay.
Because you were on sometimes small, sometimes dense, sometimes big planets, like they got to do really weird stuff, and in a 3D space where you were having to think of things relative to the underside of planets and things like that. I want more of that. And I think that was the biggest turnoff for me of Mario Odyssey, was Mario Odyssey just felt like, oh great, it's another 3D Mario, where Mario Galaxy very much just mechanically felt different. And that's what was so cool about it. Mm-hmm. And I guess as much as I would just love Super Mario Galaxy 3, I think more just I want that from my Mario game.
I got you.
Also, Mario Galaxy is better than Mario Sunshine. Fight me.
I know you don't like Sunshine. So.
No, it was fine.
I will say I
like really, Sunshine more than Odyssey.
I didn't play Galaxy 2. I played a little bit of Galaxy. I will say the biggest takeaway for me, I need to actually revisit it and play it one day. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing for me is, and I had said this years ago on the channel one time, I made a video talking about, trying it out. Happy. That was like the exact feeling I had playing Super Mario Galaxy. Yeah. I just had an overwhelming sense of happiness when I was playing the game. And that is just pure uncut happiness. That's just such a rarity, I feel like, that I experience when I'm playing a game.
I'm going to give you an experiment I want you to do and report back to me on this.
Okay.
I want you to get yourself back into Super Mario Galaxy.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a setting for this or not.
I have the game.
You have the game.
Yeah,
great.
I own all that. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a setting for this, but if there is, play it for 20 minutes with the music on and then turn it off. If that option exists, I almost guarantee
turn the music off?
Off.
Oh, okay.
Because I have the distinct feeling that 75% of the reason your reaction from that is just happy is the score.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Yeah.
I have no doubt.
It was beautiful. And some of my favorite games, I think back, are literally just my favorite because mechanics, yeah, sure, but just music. Mm-hmm. Like the Tony Hawk franchise. The Tony Hawk games were fun, but the real reason you played them was that soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack was always great. Yeah. The licensing they did on there was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Music is so important to games. Like, even like when just picking the right stuff for your soundtrack, or thematically the score, like in your Zeldas and things like that. I mean, music is so important in games. And again, I guess getting back to Mario Odyssey, they had such a missed opportunity. They're really good music and sound design, but they just pushed it so far back for no really good reason.
I think maybe because that was where they were going in the more recent Mario games, like looking at Super Mario 3D Land, Super Mario 3D World. They were just taking it back to a new 3D Mario game, not focusing as much on the music, and that seemed to work well for 2 games in a row. So, and
that's reasonable. It's from a marketing perspective, there's no reason to pump that much money into the sound design, because really your average gamer doesn't care about sound design. They don't even notice things like that.
Subconsciously you're gonna notice.
Subconsciously, what's the red letter media? You didn't notice it, but your brain notices. Mm-hmm. Like, it's big. Like, some of your favorite movies, games, all of that, I guarantee are your favorite because of music.
Oh yeah,
hands down.
No doubt. Yeah, no, I just love nostalgia is a real powerful tool and all that too. So, like, for example, the Grand Theft Auto 3, my all-time favorite game. Absolutely love it for so many reasons. The soundtrack will just always be in my head. Like Chatterbox, Game FM, Double Clef, I always kind of skipped it, but I remember that, of course. The Scarface radio station, was that Lips or what? I want to say that was Lips.
I don't remember.
No, the K-Jaw, where I ended up tracking down. So all 5 songs on the K-Jaw radio station are from one album by an artist named Scientist, and like years later, and it was kind of an expensive CD, I think it was like $30-$40. I ended up tracking it down and bought it just because I loved that album so much.
Music is so important. Make or break a game. Well, not make or break a game, especially in this time, in this decade. But I mean, even looking back at some of the most iconic games, like if someone says to me Halo, the first thing I think isn't about Master Chief, isn't about the shooting mechanics. It is that just iconic choir, just music sound.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's what everyone thinks.
Iconic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's sound design, man. I could talk for a whole podcast about sound design in games.
I'm sure some people would love to hear that.
Yeah, I could talk for a while, even just specifically about even like the sound design in like a Sekiro or any games like that. I mean, that was probably one of my favorite things about Sekiro was visuals. Admittedly, is a beautiful game, but just really good sound design. And yeah, of course, ditto Super Mario Galaxy, which I could also do a whole podcast about. But brilliant sound design.
People in the comments, let us know if you'd want to hear Donald talk about that. No,
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Hell yeah.
I'll talk for hours.
Yeah. It's like we have the technology. We just don't want to spend a lot of money doing it. Yeah.
Well, if you want, we can shift off of music and sound in games for a while.
I do have something that I wanted to bring this up last month, and I just didn't because I didn't fit into my schedule. But Donald, I guess this is kind of related. I don't know. I know you've gone to a lot of conventions. You love them and all that stuff. Have you gone to any trading card game conventions at all? Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, any of that?
Not specifically. So I've kind of two branches of cons that I'm known for going to. One is your kind of like your MagFests, where it's more just general, and again, music, of course, music and gaming, and then general gaming, Gen Con, Genghis Con, things like that. But I've never gone to a specifically TCG.
Okay, yeah, no, because
convention.
I just wanted. I feel like I could get like your thoughts on this pretty well, so I'm kind of happy I saved this. But apparently, Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, according to IGN, are now starting to penalize players for being smelly.
Yeah, I heard about that, and thank you. I
don't think there's anyone who's against this.
No. I wish that was a general rule for conventions in general. I think that there should be a person at the door of every convention whose job it is to smell people. And if you smell too bad, like,
if you
sorry,
can
dude,
taste
you're
the
gone.
person.
Yeah. Trust me, as someone that I go to at least one convention a year, usually MagFest. And again, MagFest is a festival, con, whatever you want to call it, that has both concerts and gaming. So now you have sweaty nerds playing games that are going into mosh pits and getting even sweatier.
Oh, ew.
Like, that is the number one situation where you need hygiene in your conventions. And yeah, thank you, Yu-Gi-Oh, for doing that. I really hope they set the trend on this, because my God, I have met some disgusting people at conventions.
I'm hoping so too. Yeah, apparently they're saying, this is on the official Yu-Gi-Oh blog, and there's a new section called Hygiene, and it's reading, this is a new section requiring all persons attending a tournament to be clean and wear clean clothing. Mm-hmm. If you or your clothing is excessively dirty or bad smelling, you can be penalized. I don't know how they're going to penalize you. I don't know what the punishment would be.
Banishment.
I hope so.
God, I hope it's banishment.
Or at least deodorant or something. Now
they take your deck of cards and just burn it in front of you.
Now, dude, one thing. So I didn't really know about this, but apparently, Smash. It's really bad at Smash tournaments as well too.
It's bad at every nerd culture related tournament.
Now I've heard
con.
that, but like, have you heard of the YouTuber Glink?
No.
Fantastic YouTuber. I recommend anyone listening check him out. But he did a recent video about hygiene at Smash tournaments, and it answered this question for me. So recently there was another Smash tournament where there was a dude who ended up winning, and when he won, somebody threw a dead crab at him. And he was angry. So he picks it up and he's like yelling. He's like, "Whose crab is this? Who did this?" And when the story initially when the story initially broke, I was thinking it was someone brought in a dead crab and kept it in their backpack or something for hours. Like, no one noticed this. No one noticed the fishy, decaying smell. Like, nobody. I saw Glink's video and he kind of touched up on this, but nobody noticed it because I'm pretty sure it just blended in with the stink of the con. Or not the con, the tournament. That's not good. That's not a good look. Like, I guess Glink's thing has mainly been, this has been a known thing. There's jokes around it. It's always brought up at Smash tournaments. So please, for God's sake, buy deodorant. It's $1.
Yeah, no, it's... I forget which convention it was that they actually... Oh, man, now I got to Google this. That they got the hotel staff to put deodorant sticks in bathrooms as one of the amenities.
Well, I feel like hotels should just do that by default.
True.
I'm paying for the room. Give me some damn deodorant.
No, trust me, as someone, I've been going to game conventions since I was 6 or 7, since I was young, and yeah, it's a thing. At tournaments, it's worse because then they're sitting in the same room for hours instead of moseying around a tournament. But no, all nerdcore conventions, minus, I mean, some of your bigger ones that are more general population, your Comic-Cons and stuff, aren't quite as bad just because you have more normies there.
I'll notice the people who are smelly there are the ones who are like in costume for days on end.
Where, like, and the thing is, man, costumes aren't an excuse. So yeah, MagFest is I I could talk all day about MagFest as well. Go to MagFest. It's wonderful. But there's a cosplaying scene at MagFest as well, and costumes aren't the problem. There are plenty of people running around in costumes at MagFest that smell just fine because of basic hygiene. God,
It's not hard.
This podcast has turned into shitting on Deadmau5, Mario Galaxy is the best game ever made, and hygiene.
And I'm responsible for the last bit there.
No, it's a good
my
topic.
fault. I brought up the stank.
Take a shower. All of you, especially you.
And again, deodorant's only $1. Just buy a stick of it.
Seriously, just take a shower. God. Oh man.
Oh my god.
If any of you want a dedicated show on this channel about con funk, just mention it in the comments.
Please do. Please do. I do have another thing. I've been seeing this stuff. So this is right now. I'll get you all the exact dates. Right now, we're recording this in about the middle of the month. I just have to record this a little early because of time constraints and all that. But it's May 13th. So if you're hearing this and something has broken out in the past like 2 days, we didn't know about it at the time of recording. But Donald, have you followed like any of the YouTube shenanigans that have happened? Mainly like the ProJared, the Etika type stuff, all of that.
We're gonna bring up ProJared.
We're gonna bring up ProJared. What we again, May 13th. This is what we know up until this point, because I know you're probably more vested in his material than I am.
Yeah,
a lot more. Because
that's weird for me.
I've only known of him, and then I've kind of followed the memes and the overall thing here. But yeah.
Oh God, we're just gonna jump straight into that. Okay, yeah,
I guess
man.
So for anybody, because there's a lot of people I'm sure who aren't like following YouTube stuff a ton, but I guess like in short, and correct me if I'm wrong here at all, ProJared, really well known YouTuber, over a million
subs,
over well known to me.
Over a million.
Yeah, but he's big YouTuber.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay, that's not that's not up for debate. But he's a big YouTuber. He's done work with, like, he's part of Normal Boots, isn't he?
Yeah, he's I wouldn't call him the second biggest part of Normal Boots, but I'd say he's right behind JonTron.
Sure. So there was that. He was married to a chick named Heidi, and he came out on Twitter and said, hey, my wife and I are splitting. Heidi had come out and said, hey, I don't know what Jared just said because he blocked me, but he has been cheating on me for the past few months with Holly. And Holly is one of their mutual friends who is also part of Normal Boots, who also had said to Jared's official statement, hey, something along the lines of like, hey, I'm really sorry to hear about this. I'm here if you need me.
You want another fun tidbit in that story? You know the other connection that she has to Normal Boots in that community? She was dating Rubber Ross.
They were married.
Or married. It was marriage, yeah.
Yeah, because they divorced. Well, they announced their divorce around the time where Holly ended up moving up to Seattle where Jared lives,
yeah.
And that was definitely when they were cheating and all that. But then on top of that, I think the big thing is it would have stopped there, and that's already a scummy thing to do. But then on top of it, it was also revealed that Jared's also been kind of a bit of a sexual predator and had a bunch of not safe for work Tumblrs and Snapchat set up where he was asking for nudes from fans and then sending nudes. And some of the fans might or might not have been underage. And
yeah, man. Rule number 1 of being a famous YouTuber: don't send pictures of your dick to people. Just don't. Especially if they're underage, but also just don't.
I mean, I think that's just a thing in
general.
Like,
yeah.
Like, I will say, I will say here, I have never taken a nude photo because of that. Yeah. Because I'm just like, hey, you want to send me something? Fine, what have you. I'm not going to share it around. I'm not sending any of myself out there. I've seen what happens.
Yeah, no, I dig that, man. ProJared, dude, you fucked up, man. Am I allowed to say fuck on this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool, I said fuck on this. Yeah. And the thing is, yeah, his content was pretty dang good. And the dude seemed to have charisma.
It had to be good to get to, million subscribers.
That's just a level of stupid that I don't understand. Like, you did everything wrong. You cheated on the person you were married to while being YouTube famous, while texting pictures of your schlong to 16-year-olds. Like,
for years.
You did everything wrong in this situation. Like, putting aside the fact that you're just kind of a garbage person, you're also just kind of stupid. Like, I don't know, man. And then there goes all the ProJared fans now.
Oh, no. That's okay. No, I was looking at my phone, but yeah, no. Well, here's the thing. I don't think ProJared has any fans.
Oh, I think
now.
he still does.
Well, I haven't seen anyone defending him aside from Peanut Butter Gamer, who accidentally
that was
defended.
an accident defense.
And it was very much it was more he was coming way too emotionally. He was more like, yeah, everyone's attacking my friend and nobody's looking into the other side of the story. And then a day later he's like, yeah, my bad, guys. Jared's not good.
I don't know, man. I'm going to call it now. I think this is going to be a massive dent in his popularity.
Sure.
But if JonTron can come back from some of the shit he said, I think ProJared's going to be fine.
No, Donald. JonTron said some stuff that wasn't the best enunciated, and he didn't put
I guess
it out
the
there.
Underage. I keep forgetting that the dick pics went to underage kids.
Yeah, but Jared did a lot more. I mean, he cheated on his wife. I mean, this business, like Normal Boots, seems like it's just gotten completely shaken up. And then on top of that, just like the sexual predator type stuff, and then the underage thing on top of it, you pile that on.
I admittedly keep forgetting the underage part, which is a very, very crucial detail to the story.
Yeah.
Very important. I wonder. I was looking at his Social Blade when it first happened. I wonder how that's
when
still
you were
going.
saying too, I wanted to tell you, because when you were saying like, yeah, why would you do that? You had all this stuff going on. A lot of it, from what I see, with people who are in those positions, it's power. It's, you know what, I got, like, for example, like Jeff Bezos. You know, he's. Oh, that's not as bad, right?
Yeah.
Right now, while we are recording this, ProJared is at 825,627 subscribers.
I'm gonna hedge my bets hold my bets on this one. I think, I don't think this is gonna kill him. I don't think this is gonna be good for him.
But he's gonna have to disappear for a while.
He's gonna need to. It's gonna be Louis C.K. He's gonna vanish for 6 months or a year, and then he's gonna pop up in a random comedy shop and be like, "Hey, I'm back," and he's gonna get a standing ovation.
Sure.
Especially just in how.
Oh, he just lost 3 subsubscribers while we were talking.
Oh no! There's all of his money. But no, unless this goes to court, unless one of the kids' parents sues, in which case then this might be a bit more of a problem. One of the people
has said that they've contacted the Department of Justice about this. So,
but what do you think the odds of settling it would happen? I mean, I guess this is getting into less of a civil issue and more of a federal issue. Yeah, that is transmission.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is going to be weird.
And even some of it could have been sharing reproduction, all that too, because so this allegedly as well. But like one of the people claims that they had, when they gave Jared their nudes, like their underage nudes, they had said, hey, don't share these, and allegedly Jared had shared them on one of his Tumblrs as well, too.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, because he also had a Twitter, or not a Twitter, he had a Tumblr where he was also sharing other, like, fans who sent him their nudes, he was sharing them on there. So, dude, I'm telling you, so when you were asking why, I wanted to get on this, it's all for power. Yeah. He has the 1 million subscribers. He has the hot wife. He has the successful business. He is his own boss. So you know what? What's going to stop me from, sending nudes to all these people? Because I have that power. I can cheat on my wife. Sure, she's not going to find out. It's all just a power thing. I'm going to do this stuff because I can do it, because I have the power to. Also, there's just a human thrill of getting away with doing something that you're not supposed to do.
For sure, but rule number 1 of being a criminal is don't be a stupid criminal.
I guess not.
Like, if you're gonna...
he wasn't thinking of any criminal intent there. He was thinking with his dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could talk about this for a while. But,
Twitter's been talking about ProJared's dick for like a week at this point.
Oh, I'm aware. So. Yeah, it's a meme at this point.
It is. Thankfully, I didn't see the uncensored versions. Yeah. Just the censored ones came across
His
my
face.
timeline.
You don't even need the dick part of that picture. It's the face he's making is the most ridiculous. Just
thankfully, I didn't. Yeah. I've been kind of shielded from a lot of.
Don't look it up, but look it up. Like, seriously, look up a censored version and just zoom in on his face. It's, I guess you can right now if you want to, but I'm more so saying for the audience sake, don't look it up. But look it up. It's hilarious.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
have you followed the Etika thing at all or not?
What do you mean?
Etika
World
World Network. Do you know about him?
Evidently not.
Okay, so this was another guy. So this is okay.
Oh boy,
this
here
is I
we
guess
go.
something I know more about. This will be
Yeah.
the only other YouTube thing I want to talk about because I guess this really comes into. I don't want to be. I really don't want to be an armchair psychologist here. So that's not what I'm trying to convey. But essentially, he was a. I guess you could say Nintendo YouTuber where his big thing, he was really known for, Nintendo Direct streams, reveals, reactions, Smash.
How do you spell it?
Etika.
Okay.
If you look him up right now, which I know you're doing, you'll probably recognize him.
Oh, this guy. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't follow him, but yeah.
Real funny dude. Like, I very much enjoyed his stuff, and there's been, there's a lot of good, a lot of bad I can say, but in short, what ended up happening is like 6 months ago at this point, because this was in October. He said the N-word, the friendly version of it. He said it on Twitter, and he ended up getting suspended. And he went nuts. He made a video yelling, complaining, freaking out about it. And then it resulted in him deleting all his videos on his channel, which had almost 1 million subscribers. Like,
Nice.
he's full-time,
That's healthy, yeah.
full-time YouTuber, doing real well. He's living in New York. And then he ended up uploading porn and saying a bunch of other stuff on his channel. And then it got terminated. And he said something along the lines of, like, it's been an honor doing this with you all. This is where I die. Something like that. So, of course, people are checking on him. They're doing wellness checks. They're doing all this stuff. He was taken to a psych ward. And when he came back, like, he was checked out, like, he was supposed to be fine. And he was saying, like, it wasn't a breakdown. He was doing it all as an act and all this stuff. And he was saying he was going to be honest with everyone from here on out. And this is what he wanted to do. Yeah, I know you're rolling your eyes. It's like, he could have done...
Yeah.
Just some of the stuff, it's like I'm really on the fence about. It's like, no, because like one of the things that came out was apparently he wasn't happy with his network he was with on his YouTube channel. I know for sure, as of a few years ago, networks can no longer restrict you and keep you in. So if you request to unlink, if you are partnered through network and you request to unlink, the network has to honor that unlink request. So within 30 days, you will be released. That's it. Like, that is a YouTube rule now at this point. So he could have just unlinked at any time, found new network, done something else. So then he ended up building up a whole new channel. And at one point, about the same thing ended up happening, where he started going crazy. He was saying a bunch of stuff on Twitter and YouTube and doing all this other stuff. Uploaded porn to that channel. Got that one terminated as well. I think he ended up going to, I'm trying to get the timeline down, but he ended up going to a psych ward again. Allegedly, like his ex-girlfriend said, because she's really been on the lookout, even though she's an ex, she's been on the lookout for him. Allegedly, he was being dragged away and yelling that he is a god and don't take me away. Yeah, and when he came back, so he came back after a few days and he's like, hey guys, my bad, I'm not going to do that again. Sometimes that's just my dark humor. Yeah.
Of course.
And I had said, like, it got some traction on Twitter, and like I'd replied, I was like, dude, being dragged away in a psych ward and yelling that you're a god goes way beyond dark humor. Like, please get off here and seek some help.
Yeah, that's getting into, like, let me diverse more of your fans even more. That's getting into almost Kanye West territory at that point of just, like, sociopathy. Just
a bit, yeah. And much of this was I'm a god, all this stuff. He's called himself the Antichrist. So some of the other stuff that's happened, he ended up coming back 2 days later. About the same thing starts up again. It got to the point where there was a wellness check that was called on him, and he did not. I saw the Instagram live stream, like live when it was happening. Police were coming. They were checking on him. He would not let them in. EMS just wanted to check on him. So they had to shut down his entire block. This is in New York, mind you. Like, urban New York.
That's not cheap to do.
Yeah, they had to shut down his entire block. They had to force their way into his apartment, take him into custody, do an EMS check on him. They charged him they diagnosed him with agitation and let him out a few hours later. And then, I guess, like, a few days later, he was out on the street, and he ended up, and there's so many details I'm leaving out of this because I'm just giving you the condensed version. But a few days later, he punched a cop.
Nice. That's a good,
Yeah, so...
Add that to the list of things not to do. Don't send your dick to 16-year-olds and don't punch cops.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
So right now, again, it's May 13th. As of at least the past week or week and a half or so, he has not been arrested. He was taken in, and he is now in, I guess, like a mental ward or something, kind of the equivalent of that, like getting checked out and everything. So it's just been this crazy ordeal. People don't know if he's well, if he's unwell, if this is an act or not, what's going on. But
there's no way that's an act. You could take that.
I don't
to
know.
a
There's been
certain
people that
degree,
have been,
but I think the line is pretty much drawn at punching a cop. I think that's when you know it's not an act.
Right. And that's why some people have been saying, well, maybe he's been planning this and maybe this has been all crazy.
He was planning on punching a cop.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. It's like, well, when you're going that far, wait a minute. This is getting into criminal territory.
Well, okay,
here.
so now we solved ProJared's YouTube crisis. He just needs to say this was part of his internet character.
Oh, sure.
That was part of his internet persona. He didn't actually want to send those pictures to anyone. He had to portray what the audience expected of him.
his Sin Jared audience.
Yeah, Normal Boots is going to get weird after this now.
Hell yeah.
This begins the arc of just no.
It's going to be Sin Boots or something. I don't know.
All the other Normal Boots are great.
Yeah. Man. But yeah, no, I don't. So you didn't follow him at all. Then,
no,
so
this is all fascinating for me now. I kind of want to watch his backlog and just.
I would recommend
context.
it. He's a funny dude. He's a real funny dude.
I just want to watch his videos and be like, this is the guy that punched a cop. How interesting. Nice.
It all worked up to this point, I guess. I don't know,
man.
But I really hope he gets better. I hope he's getting the help he needs. I know at one point he got internet access and came back. He did a quick AMA on his Reddit, and he was still doing the weird shit on there. So that's why I feel like part of it is an act. But at the same time, it's like, well, I also feel like, he's probably maybe just buckled. I think it's kind of, we've talked about this off the record a bit, but it's kind of the issue of there might be things that are just, nobody's perfect, but there just might be things that anybody needs to address. And when you have that large audience, they're zeroing in and everything, and even if you don't have a large audience, just when you get to a point in life, maybe you might have, some issues in your head that you need to work out. But if you always have some bigger issue ahead of you, like, oh, I need to get a car, I need to get a house, I need to get whatever this is. And then once you get situated in life and all that, if you're really just kind of left with your demons, you kind of got to sort through those a little bit. It could be spooky and sometimes impossible to just do that by yourself.
But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to I'm not trying to wrap up this topic, but I want to propose a question to you kind of now that we've talked about ProJared, talked about him and all. What would be the most devastating YouTuber to have just out of nowhere, just one day we find out, kind of similar to what happened with ProJared, similar to what happened with this guy? Who would you be the most devastated and or surprised at being tomorrow's ProJared or tomorrow's do you have something off the top, or do you want to think about it for a second? Because I have my answers.
You have your answer?
Okay, I have two.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Number one, easy, Philip DeFranco.
Okay.
That dude has been on YouTube for so long that if something was to come out like that, oh yeah, he's been snapping pictures of his dick and sending it all over town or something like that, that would destroy that company. I mean, that's a 15 employee company at this point, and just he's the face of it. I mean, I would be personally sad too. That would be my number one answer.
Because I know you really follow him.
Yeah,
I haven't.
Since almost day one. Have you thought of anyone?
Gaming historian.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that guy is just so wholesome, friendly. He's a librarian.
Yeah.
He is a actual certified librarian. That's what he went to school for. That's why he knows what the hell he's doing. He knows his material. He's able to do so much research.
Yeah.
Because that's his thing. But you see him, it's like if PBS had a gaming show, it would be gaming historian.
Your answer actually just split my number two into two, but I got a top three now.
Okay.
Of devastation.
God. Oh, God.
I think I'm actually going to flip my order too. Three in this order. I'm putting Philip DeFranco down to number three. Number one, Michael Stevens, Vsauce 1.
Okay.
I don't know if you follow Vsauce.
Somewhat.
But for anyone he's the dad of YouTube. He is a wonderful man. You should follow Vsauce. Number two, I guess this is getting out of kind of the gaming realm. This is more general YouTuber on both of these. But Tom Scott. Do you follow Tom Scott?
Somewhat.
Okay. Either of them. Especially
you and I watch very different material at the time, I can tell. Yeah.
Yes, we do. As a nerd and a gamer and a musician, most of the YouTubers I follow have not much to do with any of those topics. It's
I understand.
very odd.
I understand.
I do follow like kind of the big populars, the JonTron. I don't know if you've heard of Mr. Mario. I follow him.
No, I don't know who the hell that is.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, that dude's fat. Oh, that's where you lose it. Okay. Okay, I start fat shaming, and that's where you lose it.
The funniest jokes are the truest ones.
Oh, that's true.
No, yeah. God, now I'm trying to think of what all of like the. I mean, I felt like Linus Tech Tips. We've talked about that, but I don't really count that. That's more. He's a little more big.
Sure.
I'm trying to think.
You call him fat too?
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah, dude. Walling around in his sandals and socks, fat piece of shit.
Jesus Christ.
What this really is this is just me being worried about my own body issues and just pushing it on to everyone else.
So you're projecting at this point.
Exactly.
I see you.
Anyway, I guess getting back to the root of it, Game of Story, that would be depressing.
I know.
Good
Because
Lord.
so the thing is, I don't really know about Vsauce that much. Tom Scott, and especially Philip DeFranco. Like I can imagine him being like just like the biggest player from years ago. So that's why it's just like with stuff like
his history though.
Not too much.
You should look because his YouTube persona in his actual he self-admittedly by him he did used to be a piece of shit, but Visa. You should check out Vsauce.
Okay.
And I think you would.
I mean, I've heard him on podcasts before. So.
For context, it's mostly educational related content. So I guess any YouTube educator getting outed as sending pictures of his ding dong to Tumblr followers,
I mean, admittedly, the very first person I thought of was PewDiePie, but it's just like, well, that guy's been through so many controversies, and he's had his ads dinged, and he's had his channel. Now it's the second most subscribed one. It's like, no, that's not going to do anything.
Here's a fun question. Let's switch ProJared and PewDiePie. Yeah. So if PewDiePie, however many days ago it was now, based on when this is uploaded weeks ago, was ProJareded. That's a verb now, by the way. ProJareded. What do you think his sub count would look like right now?
Adpocalypse number 4.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't.
That would just kill YouTube. That wouldn't kill PewDiePie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd be more concerned about the platform at that point.
True.
You know, it's just like PewDiePie. Like you have to do this stuff as well too. I don't know, but. Yeah,
because how many times has that dude said the N-word on stream?
I mean, well, he did that once. There was the Hitler thing that was going on.
Oh, the Hitler thing.
There's been at least one or two controversies he's been in.
What's your take on? Again, I'm trying to destroy your user base right now. But what is your stance on with PewDiePie and the whole just Nazi jokes and Hitler-isms? If you don't mind me asking, if you don't want to talk about this, we can also edit this the fuck out and move on to something else.
No. I can answer it. So for me, I definitely feel it was really stupid of him to make those jokes.
Yeah.
Some people can say, yeah, the context matters, and I agree with you. But God damn it, when you are the #1 YouTuber and you are also partnered with a company who is technically owned by Disney, you have to have some fucking control. You cannot just do the edgy stuff all the time. You have to rein it in a little bit. You have to go through with a clear head. You just have to be aware of what you're operating.
Yeah, that's a sensible response.
You really have to... You really have to be prepared for that role. You have to work around it. But on top of that, I'm even going to flip it on YouTube's front. I'm of the belief where for several years... I personally believe YouTube has absolutely hated that PewDiePie has been the #1 YouTuber. I think that YouTube has hated that gaming blew up as big as it did. And I think they have begrudgingly welcomed gaming entertainment on YouTube just because it is so big that there was no way they could ignore it. But they did not want gaming to get as big as it was supposed to. They did not want someone like PewDiePie to be the #1 YouTuber. And they did not want him to be the forefront of YouTube for years. I think YouTube was also just hating that as well too.
I really hope that the reason T-Series is blowing up, I really hope it's just YouTube and Google just running subscriber bots.
It's not
off of their own servers. I know it's not.
No, it's not. And well, on my Discord server, we've talked about this well too, because some people have been like, well, how are they blowing up so much?
They have the most one of the most densely populated countries in the world backing them.
Yeah, India has at least I want to say it's 1.3 billion billion, or at least 1.2 billion people.
And now they're all starting to get smartphones in their hands, especially with your Android ones and all of that of the world. No, it's legit. I know T-Series blowing up is legit. They're just like Vivo. I mean, they're the Vivo of India.
Yes, except it's just one channel.
Exactly.
They
were smart.
5 or 6 things a day.
They were smarter than Vivo, that instead of just licensing it, it is here. This is our channel.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I know I don't say that they deserve the number of subscribers that they have, but I also wouldn't say that they earn them unfairly.
I can agree with that too. I will say though that I'm happy that they took the number 1 subscriber mark and that nothing has changed. There hasn't been
they don't consistently have the number 1 mark. It's been going back and forth
between them and PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's been actually really fun to watch.
Okay, I haven't seen that as much, but
I'm gonna Google it.
Okay,
since that's the theme of this.
Have
podcast.
fun, but yeah, no, that's been a whole big thing going on. So yeah,
subscribe to PewDiePie.
And I still actually he asked people to retire that meme.
Yeah, I heard because of all the garbage, the literal viruses.
People will take something and destroy it. So you know how it goes. Unfortunately.
Let's see. PewDiePie versus T-Series live sub count. Okay, so T-Series is ahead by 3 mil as of recording.
3? Oh, come on.
So
they won.
They've got this. They're going to hit 100.
Yeah, I was going to say they won.
Yeah.
They won. But I think people, even if you ask them who the number 1 most subscribed channel is, most people are still going to say PewDiePie.
Oh, they will still say PewDiePie.
Because one... Yeah. I mean, he's been known for years, so some people just might not be up to date. But 2, he's, the number 1 homegrown YouTuber. He's not a faceless corporation or entity like T-Series.
No, and even if T-Series makes it to 100 mil before, will that be sad? Yes, it would be sad. But yeah, we're talking about a conglomerate versus a person.
Yeah.
Like
now the other thing is too, it's like, and homegrown, I guess we could say.
PewDiePie is a company now.
PewDiePie has a business behind him. Yeah. He's incorporated,
but being YouTuber first, that's how this whole thing started, was internet.
Yes,
that's cool, and I hope he makes it to 100 mil first, which he probably won't. But I mean, still,
for anybody who still doesn't know about T-Series is I feel like they're the equivalent of like if
they're Indian Vivo.
But I'm thinking even like old school type stuff. I'm thinking they're like the equivalent of like MTV, for example.
Yeah, MTV for the internet.
Yeah. Like imagine if MTV, I mean, they have a channel, but imagine if they just started blowing the fuck up, and that's their equivalent.
Yeah, man, it was a smart market to tap. I mean, anyone that invested in internet technology in India in the last 10 years, should, or even hell, the last 5 years, should be commended. Because good Lord, that shit's blown up. And I'm glad. Like, hell yeah, that's awesome. And at the end of the day, I'm glad T-Series is making $1 billion. Like, good for them. I'm not going to hate on that. I'm also not going to subscribe because I don't care.
Sure.
But I'm also not going to hate because at the end of the day, man, it's all businesses.
It's
all money.
It is. Yeah. That's been kind of a fun debate to get into too, because there's been a few people who they've just been so, and I think they're just a little ignorant about it, but there's been so many people who they're just like, well, you know what? The number 1 subscribed channel on YouTube, it shouldn't belong to a corporation. It should just be a person. There should be no corporations at the top. And to them, I respond
one of the biggest corporations in the world is making all of the money off of all of these channels.
Well, to that I say, because that was normally people will say that for PewDiePie being overtaken. It's well, PewDiePie operates under a corporation. He has a business. His channel is a business. He has a business based around it. So with that logic, PewDiePie can't be number 1 either.
Well, but even if we get more rooted than that, you're uploading your content to Google servers.
Sure.
I mean, no matter how you spin it, you're supporting a massive corporation. At the end of the day, cool, small creators blowing up because of it, but really, you're helping them. You're helping Google a lot more.
Right.
Well, kind of, except for YouTube is hemorrhaging money or something. I don't know.
I think I think recently, though, there's been some years where they are actually finally making a profit.
Do you think it's YouTube Red or Premium or whatever Google calls it now?
I think it's helping, but I don't think it's only that.
And Will Smith, YouTube Red, T-Series, and Will Smith.
Yes.
That's
the trifecta.
That's their
the trident. Oh, man. I have one more. I mean, we've just been going on this. I have one more thing I'd like to ask you here. But I like to ask this on every single podcast, and I either share this or ask the guest I have on. So I'll ask you, what games have you been playing recently?
That is an excellent question. So I am a basic piece of shit lately in that
Nice.
my number one game has been Apex Legends. Not number one favorite, just number one, I would say, in playtime. And admittedly, it's a Skinner box thing. It is raw addiction. It's a good game. As
Skinner boxing?
Not Skinner box. Isn't that the like slot machines and all of God, now I gotta I'm gonna Google this, and if I was wrong, I want you to edit that out.
I haven't heard of Skinner box.
I'm pretty sure it's Skinner box.
I don't.
Now you're making me.
I'm
yeah,
not,
it's Skinner box.
What is that? Can you explain that to me? I don't know what that is.
So basically, it's just how to value response of doing the correct thing. You put a mouse in a box, and if it does the right thing, basically, yeah, TLDR that. It's
okay.
just,
I've never heard the term.
We're in Apex Legends, yeah, it's literally just, I got to be the Apex Legend, the champion, like one game out of 100, but that one or whatever, I don't know what my stats are, but that's all it is. It's the same reason I played Call of Duty back in the day.
Gotcha. It's fun, addictive. You can get into it. So
as far as quality games that I would actually more openly talk about, a little bit of Sekiro.
Okay.
I'm weird when it comes to From Software games, which is that I have to be in a very, very specific mindset to play their games.
Okay.
So I bought Sekiro, I played it for an hour, and I had to put it down for about a month. And I'm slowly getting back into it. And once I dive in, I'm going to dive in head first. So Sekiro, Apex. Let me think of something on the Switch that I've been playing the most.
Obviously not Odyssey.
Not Odyssey. I'm getting ready to sell Odyssey, honestly. The sad thing is actually I think the most play time that's gone into my Switch recently has been Rocket League, which is hilarious, but I've just gotten
that's not sad. That's a very well supported third party game.
Yep. And have you played the Mario Rayman crossover? Not Rayman.
Yeah,
Rabbids.
Yeah, Mario plus Rabbids. Yes, I have.
That game is so good.
Yeah,
it's too good.
So the thing I tell people, as somebody who I really don't care for the Rabbids, I'm not a big Rayman fan, and I don't like XCOM. That is my favorite Switch exclusive.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Mario plus Rabbids. It was phenomenal. I loved that game so much.
Which I am going to go on record as to I was like a day one, like sold on that. I didn't buy it day one. I didn't have a Switch day one. But when I saw that announcement, Mario XCOM with Rabbids, it's like sold. And hell, you could get rid of the Rabbids and I would still enjoy the game. Just Mario XCOM in general, that is wonderful.
And see, you're saying that to me and it's still not even registering because I played XCOM and I really didn't care for it.
Yeah.
But I've played through the game, like Mario plus Rabbids, and I loved it.
I guess I'm using XCOM as a genre.
Yes.
Kind of yeah.
Yes, yeah. So no, I don't even remember what I remember when I saw the reveal and I saw when Shigeru Miyamoto, when he shouted out one of the developers on there and the dude was just like crying right there.
Yeah.
I'm like, if this guy is crying over his game, he's got to be proud of it. There's got to be something good there. And I don't remember what pressured me to pick it up, but I think I had just heard good things about it and it looked fun. And I didn't really have much going on because I was out of state at the time. But I remember I just decided to order it to my nearest Best Buy. I went there, picked it up, and within an hour or two, I was just loving it, and I got really addicted to it. And then I got my
girlfriend and I play it. I mean,
I have not played it with my girlfriend, but I got one of my coworkers onto it, and he picked it up that week as well too. So
it's good. Oh, one more. Sorry, when you're done.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more game I got to shout out.
Yes.
Just Shapes and Beats.
Have not heard of that.
So I'm partially shouting it out because, first of all, this dev team deserves it. I played it for the first time at an indie showcase at MacFest of all places 2 years ago, and now it's on Switch. If you like some of the mechanics of it's like, oh man, it's kind of like a music, not really bullet hell, but kind of like a bullet hell. So basically, it's a 4-player couch co-op game. You're just little shapes on the screen, and there's really dope nerdcore, chiptune, dubstep, whatever music playing in the background. It's great.
Okay.
And you're dodging these animations that are happening to the beat of the song. Really simple in concept. If music and games interests you at all, it's only $20. I'm not sponsored. Go buy it. right now.
Okay.
Great game. We should play it. You would like it.
I would be down. I'd be down
Yeah.
to try it out. Yeah.
So
for sure.
just Shapes and Beats, Apex Legends, Sekiro, whatever the other one I said was. Those are the games I'm playing right now.
Right on. The games I've played recently, I've picked up several, but like the ones I'm actually actively playing, Devil May Cry 5,
Nice.
I finally got more than 5 minutes into it. I'm now like 30 or 45 minutes in. It's good so far, although I have to say this, and I'm experiencing the same issue I've had with other Devil May Cry games. It's a slow start for me. The other ones I got into a lot quicker, but my God, if you don't upgrade your character, it's so boring. You have to upgrade your character and level them up, you don't level them up, but once you get your character upgrades, oh my God, the combat is so much better.
Yeah, well, some of the I don't want to spoil anything, but some of the weapons that you can end up with in that game are kind of ridiculous, if my understanding.
I believe it.
Yeah. How far have you gotten into it?
I'm playing as V right now, and I don't really like him because he just walks around and then you command his minions to fight, and it's so.
I guess how many minutes or hours are you into it?
Like an hour.
Okay, I won't say that.
Okay,
you'll know what I'm talking about when it happens, and I think the listeners already know what I'm talking about.
Okay, I need to actually sit down and play more of the game. I think I might be like 2 hours in. I'm thinking because I've had about an hour or two, but. No, I played that a little bit. I'm still really on Darksiders, which I told you I've never played more than like 20, 30 minutes of it. Yeah. The other 3 times I tried to play the game. I'm about 10 hours in. I'm pretty much halfway there because I'm about finished with chapter 3 out of 6. So that's a fantastic game, playing it on Switch right now. And then at one point I ended up, I was talking with one of my old friends for the first time in a while, shout out Andrew. And I decided to talk with him while I was on my Xbox, like my original Xbox. And I decided to play around with the trainer tool on there. So I just ended up going through the first Halo again. I just kind of put on infinite ammo and infinite health and all that and just burned through the game and had a lot of fun doing that. So that was a real fun game to play, to just like turn my brain down and not really pay attention. And then I also ended up finishing it while I was sick, because last week I was sick with a cold. So I popped some cold medicine while I was in that nice hazy state. I just burned through Halo and then I passed out immediately after.
Nice.
So,
you know what my kind of game is for that? Just the one you always go back to and the one you just sit and burn through. Fallout 3.
Okay.
Is my game for that.
Right on. Why is that?
We could talk for hours about this. I'll condense it the best I can.
Okay. Because for me, I guess my games that would be like that are kind of like a Grand Theft Auto, like a classic Grand Theft Auto game, so like Grand Theft Auto 3 or like San Andreas, Vice City. 3 is like my big one, but then Halo, of course. I just popped like you put Halo in front of me, I'm just gonna start playing it, and then I can't really get away.
Which speaking, I got to throw one more game that I've been playing a lot of lately, and then I'll get back to that. Planet Coaster is another one. I've always been into the roller coaster sims, roller coaster tycoon, and all that. That's another one I play a bunch. But anyway, Fallout 3. I'm going to condense this to the best of my ability. It is my favorite Fallout game thematically, and it was the first 3D open world RPG that I really actually got into.
Okay.
Like, I've played others before, but Fallout 3 was the first one. I mean, I have a save on my PS3 that is triple digit hours. Like, it's thematically my favorite of the Fallout games, and just, I think it being the post-apocalyptic setting helps me get more interested. I'm not super into like the Elder Scrolls or the classic kind of RPG games quite as much. I don't know why, for the life.
Classic,
I love D&D.
You mean like JRPGs? You mean?
Well, no, I mean just any like classic RPG is in like you and your friends are going into this dungeon together and you got to go fight the monster with your
like
magic
Diablo
and swords.
And such?
Like, any of those kind of thing. And I don't for the life of me know why. But yeah, Fallout 3 is that it is a game that I will, and it is imperfect, and that's where I could talk about it for hours.
Sure.
New Vegas is a better game, but Fallout 3 has a special place in my heart.
That's me with Grand Theft Auto 3. Grand Theft Auto 3 is really what kicked off gaming for me quite a bit. Yeah. And like I will sit here and say it's like, it is the least feature packed out of the 3D Grand Theft Auto games. It is the least refined out of all of them. But my God, I love that game.
Well, and I mean, I think it's defensible. Grand Theft Auto 3 was a big deal.
Hell yeah.
Like it set the tone and trend for a lot of games that came out. I would say it was, the rated M equivalent of how Ocarina changed the game development world. Like,
I know,
iconic.
I have the common thing. So when I talk about the 3D Grand Theft Autos, I'm talking about the big three, which is like 3, Vice City, San Andreas.
Yeah.
And I know people who normally say, so there's some people, their first 3D one they get into, that's their favorite, and that's it. But for the people who are not like that, it's either I've seen people say Vice City is their favorite because they love the 80s theme, and those are a lot of people I knew who like grew up or they really resonated with the 80s and early 90s, and then even like San Andreas. A lot of people, I think it could be kind of the 90s thing, but it's more, I see people cite that as their favorite because you can do the most stuff in there. And that's valid as well too. I think for me, it was just, it was cool as hell just being like, because Grand Theft Auto 3 takes place in 2001 or so. And that's like, that was my time when I was growing up. And mind you, I wasn't out as like, you know, a small child stealing cars and all that stuff. But I distinctly remember, I thought it was, don't accuse me of anything. I just remember I thought it was the coolest thing. And I guess this is nostalgia as well. But I was taken over to someone's place and they had Grand Theft Auto 3 up on their big screen TV. They put it in front of me, and I thought it was just the coolest thing how you were in this big open world 3D city. You can press the triangle button, you get out of your car, you can go to any other car, get in. And mind you, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with cars. This was a racing game on steroids for me. This was insane. It was truly the first time I felt like you could do anything in a game.
The majority,
and I still get that bewilderment when I play through it.
The majority of my hours spent in any Grand Theft Auto game is just driving.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially GTA 5.
I can sit here and tell you Grand Theft Auto 5 is the best one out of the Grand Theft Auto games. Cool. But 3 is my favorite.
Yep. No, I would say, especially with the 3 Vice and San Andreas thing, I would say 3 from nostalgia vision, Vice thematically, and then San Andreas just mechanically.
I just like a classic mafioso story as
man.
well. You know, I didn't know this until recently, and then this just makes me want to replay it again. So I think this year it's going to happen. But I watched The Sopranos for the first time all the way through. Yeah, half of the Grand Theft Auto 3 voice cast is from The Sopranos, just plucked straight from there. And that was like the prime time for it too. That was in like the midst of like when it was getting really popular.
Rockstar hit the nail on the head with the Grand Theft Auto series, man. Like, well, I mean, I guess Rockstar in general, all of their games are pretty much, hey, there's this movie or genre of movies we like. We're going to base this game around it thematically. Like every single major Grand Theft Auto game has been the directors being like, oh, these are the movies that I like, so I want to make a game where you get to live that movie. You know? And I think The Sopranos isn't far off from being 100% intentional.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's one of those things, too. It's been inspired by so many other films and all, like mafioso films. Now, one thing I would like to see Rockstar do, and granted, I think we should get, you know, like, shout out Swegta. I've been really watching his channel quite a bit. He's a Bully channel, like Bully the video game.
Oh my God, I forgot that game existed until this exact moment.
Many people do.
Hell yeah.
But I think it'd be cool to get a Bully 2. I think we should also get a Grand Theft Auto 6. But maybe after those, I think one thing that would be really cool if we could see Rockstar do a new IP. You know how Rockstar ended up taking, you know when Rockstar took they took the Wild West and they got everyone interested in it all of a sudden in 2011 because of Red Dead Redemption. What if they did that with pirates?
That would be good.
Like sail the open seas, like yo ho ho, like those pirates.
Yeah, no.
I want to see their take. I want to see their take on pirates.
God, I would want to see any game from Rockstar, especially anything thematic and story forward, like world building forward. Like I think the problem is they're taking so many less chances and they're banking more on sequels now because they're banking more on online,
and on sequels. And I agree with you, but the reason being is more. I didn't know about this until recently. I'd read about it, but as of the past few, I think since Max Payne 3. Rockstar has been doing a single game development cycle, meaning that like before they used to work on multiple different games at a time. Multiple teams work on multiple games. Now at this point, it's all hands on deck. So all their employees are working like, granted, right now, for example, they've been maintaining Grand Theft Auto 5 since 2013. So they have their testers, they have their developers for Grand Theft Auto 5, but for working on a new game, the only new game we're working on is Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is now out the door. So now there's people maintaining it, There's people maintaining Grand Theft Auto 5, but now the next new game, everyone, all hands on deck, we're working on the next new Rockstar game. So they're no longer working on multiple games at a time. They're maintaining multiple games, but they're only developing one game at a time.
Which I will argue there's good and bad things about that. It stifles creativity, but my counter to that point is Fallout 76. Like, so that is a situation where Bethesda had this little side team working on this little side project that they decided they had to Bethesda it, and it had to be big and massive, just like Rockstar now is known for their big and massive games, and that is a huge gamble. I think Rockstar going with the put all their eggs in one basket, I think they're the company that can get away with it, just because at this point, their games are specifically known for just their sheer scale. And they're, I think, the one company I can get, for better or worse, I would give a pass on.
Okay.
For something like that.
I got you. Yeah, they get the Rockstar pass, I guess.
Yeah.
From a lot of people. Like, even... Like, Red Dead Redemption 2, I really didn't put that much time in it to give it a review. But one thing that I did see is that many people were praising it up and down because of how well polished and how well designed it was. But months later, nobody's really talking about it. Nobody's really raving. And even now, like 6 months retrospectives, people are looking at it like, it was actually kind of boring.
Yeah, well, we talked about this a bit earlier off the mic, but I think they hit their ceiling.
Sure.
I think Grand Theft Auto 5 was the perfect size. Red Dead 2 was too big.
Sure.
And
I can agree
at the end of the day, that's a hindrance, man. It would be the equivalent of releasing a 6-hour movie. You just don't do that. They went too far, and it was cool, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I got Red Dead 2 at launch, and there was nothing more fun than playing Cowboy Simulator for a couple hours every night. But they need to rein it in a little bit.
Yeah. I would certainly not mind some short, like, kind of small Rockstar based games that, came out every 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't need every Rockstar game to, be a big AAA giant open world endless adventure. I really don't.
Do you
need
want more
that.
like Liberty City Stories situation?
Well, Liberty City
different IP
Liberty
situations?
City Stories is still
big. Yeah, it was pretty big.
Yeah, that was like that was a full game. That was just their B team working on a Grand Theft Auto game, but that was not a lesser game, mind you. Yeah, I played through that like a year or two ago. That was a giant game. I also was playing through Vice City Stories. I haven't finished that yet. That's a big game as well,
I need to go back and play them again, because I wonder if I'm thinking about the scale of your GTA 5s and your Red Dead, and I'm looking back at those like they feel smaller, but I feel like if I went back and played it,
no, man, those were fully fleshed out Grand Theft Auto games. The only difference was the B team was working on those games. Yeah.
It'd be cool. I would love to see Rockstar release some small weird shit. Like, they'd be a great company to do a bunch of weird small
I don't know,
new
even
IP
just like
releases.
some weird like different third person shooter. I can beat it within 10 hours. Just something small.
Or,
I'd love to see their look at that.
For all of the angry fans, maybe release another Midnight Club.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I got one fan in particular that is livid.
Yeah, they've just kind of abandoned that, haven't they?
Yeah, it's dead.
Yeah.
Well, because GTA Online and Reddit Online, they don't need to make any more games.
Exactly, yeah. Why get Midnight Club when you can just get this?
Yep.
Yeah.
You sound tired.
I am, yeah. And I think we should wrap up here.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. Anyways, Donald, it's been awesome having you on. This has been long overdue. I mean, you knew me before the Mr. Mario shit, so it's been a long time.
God,
man.
I could go into a whole conversation about, you talking about the concept of getting your YouTube channel up and running.
Yeah.
Like, back when it was still rather conceptual and you were still doing kind of...
I was just doing shooting shit like all over the place. Yeah, like not even like uploading anything, because it was like back then you couldn't really put videos anywhere to stream. You had to send the direct video file, Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let you close this out. I will say, man, I'm assuming this is gonna drop either. I haven't really looked at the trends, either just before, maybe a little bit before, but congratulations in advance on 100K.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Crazy, because I remember
I can't believe it.
I remember when it was double digits.
Yeah.
Let alone, like, any of you that says that you were a Mr. Mario fan before he got big, come talk to me about that.
Yeah. No, I can attest that Donald was one of my first subscribers. Like, you got in early.
Zero.
Hell yeah.
I responded to... Did I do a video response on one of your OG? I feel like I did.
I think we did. Yeah, I think this is back when video responses were a thing.
We're still
We
a
have done
thing.
those. Yes.
That shows our YouTube age
Yes,
right there.
I miss video responses, man. But apparently, YouTube axed them because allegedly YouTube said that they just weren't that successful. Not that many people were using them. I say bullshit
Except for
to
YouTube
that.
girls.
Yeah,
The response girls.
The reply girls.
Reply
yeah.
girls. There we go. That was the word.
Yeah, I think
for.
that's really why YouTube killed those
Oh, it
video
was.
replies. Yeah. Oh, well.
Anyway.
Anyway.
In closing.
So I have to bounce back to you. Donald, where the hell can people find you online?
Oh, that's a hard question, man. I don't have much of an internet presence. If you want, go check out my SoundCloud. I upload one new song maybe every 20 years on there. It's soundcloud.com/DJ dGreen spelled in some fashion. It'll be in the description.
Yeah, it will be.
Or somewhere. My YouTube channel's not really, man. I guess go to my SoundCloud. Yeah.
I'll link your SoundCloud.
There you go.
I'll link your
that
SoundCloud. We'll be
works.
good. Yeah. I think we're good on all that stuff.
Cool.
And anyways, one of the last things I like to do as well too. So I guess I'll go ahead outro here. Thank you all for listening, watching, all that stuff. It's definitely been a blast doing this. Thank you, Donald, for coming on board. This was a fantastic show. And one of the last things I like to do is I like to take a random word and give it to the audience. And if anybody in the comment section uses this random word in their comments on the YouTube video, then we'll know they made it to the very end. So what is a word that we should pick for that?
Cool. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I gotta think about this now.
Yeah, I always like to put these people on the spot.
Yeah, no, this is a good and I'm not faking this either. I'm actually trying to think of a word. I should have been prepared for
tough.
this. Quark.
Quark?
Quark. Q-U-A-R-K.
Like the cheese?
No. Scientific term. Quark, I believe, unless I'm crazy.
I think there's a cheese
physics. Q-U-A-R-K.
Okay.
Quark.
But isn't there also a cheese called quark?
Holy shit, there is.
Because
okay,
I've
either meaning.
I've eaten it many times. It's delicious.
This has been another podcast of just second guessing myself too.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault, man.
Because I was about to say, I've eaten much quark, and it's very good.
It is both, an elementary particle in physics, and it's also a kind of cheese. So yeah, I guess Say specifically when you heard quark, if you thought of the cheese or if you thought of the scientific term.
All right. So quark, that's going to be the magic word. Quark. Yeah.
Such a fun word.
Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for listening and watching, everyone, and until next month.